Hey besties, it's Newt. Welcome back to the bustling streets of Atlanta, Georgia, and also to Happy Home Paradise. Today, as you can see, we are giving Pee-wee a roommate. Not just a roommate, though. We're giving him a husband, and that is Al. This is actually a stream that I did a long time ago, which is why I'm turning it into a video now, because it's been a minute, besties. It's been a minute since we checked in with Pee-wee and Al, and their relationship, and their son, whose name I definitely remember. I totally didn't forget their son's name. And their gym. They own a gym, as you can see by the title of the video and the thumbnail. They own a gym together, and they're in love, and they have a son, and it's really beautiful. I love love. And I love recording in the middle of the day. So today's speed build is going to be a little bit of a city core moment, okay, besties? This is the outside of their house, by the way. I did this off stream, actually, where my creativity was really, just going. The juices were flowing, besties, when I did this blue and yellow and green moment. Actually, hold on a minute, pause. And I had really fun with the color palette of this build. The main color palette is blue, yellow, and green, and I really love those colors. I may have a problem. Actually, you know what? No. I should be more charitable myself. I don't have a problem. Everyone who doesn't vibe with the yellow, green, blue color scheme has a problem. Let's get that thing straight right away, besties. But yes, this is your little preview of the outside, which like I said, I did do off camera. And the inside, though, we're gonna give them a gym on the first floor and an apartment on the second floor. Very luxurious, very small business owner vibes, okay, besties. And we're giving them a little marital bliss fantasy. We're giving them wholesome family fantasy vibes, which, they deserve. Speaking of fantasy, my fantasy, besties, is to shake off the ghost of technical issues that seems to follow me everywhere I go, every time I try to make a video. This actually wasn't even the video that I planned to make. I had a completely different new build planned for you all today that I wasn't able to make because I could not connect my Switch to OBS for some reason. Just as yesterday, I couldn't get my Wii to work in time to stream City Folk. So we ended up playing Stardew Valley and Jackbox instead, which was very fun, and I loved that, besties. But I got the Wii working literally like 10 minutes after that stream ended, and I just I wanted to burst into tears. I'm like, are you serious? That was rude. And like I said, apparently I traded having a working Wii that I can record to having a working Switch because now my Switch doesn't work in OBS. So here we are, besties, re-recording over a build that I did back in November of last year. But you know what? I really like this build. This is sort of the final color scheme. Let's say that. I ended up doing half and half, where I did one half of the gym with brick wall and then the other half with the windows instead of this split up thing. But I liked the brick, the nice rich brick color, and I liked the dark windows, and I love this gym floor, and I just think it's, I think she's cute. She's cutesy. It's really giving gym. Like, it's giving gym. But yes. So, speaking of City Folk, and speaking of my Wii working, if you're watching this the day that it goes live, an hour after this build goes up, whenever it goes up, I don't know when that will be, but whenever it goes up, an hour afterwards, I will be streaming City Folk for real, okay? We're starting a new save. It'll be really exciting. Y'all can name my town. We can experience City Folk together. So check that out, besties. I stream over here on YouTube. I'll put a link to the stream so you can set a reminder for yourself. Like I said, I'll go live an hour after whenever this goes up. So get excited, besties. Okay, I am now realizing not only did I use the same color scheme on the outside that I did for Fret's house, but Fret's house is also a sports themed build, and it uses a lot of the same items. Oops. Obviously I recorded this back in November, so this wasn't intentional. It was just, I was thinking of like what's a stream that I really liked that I want to turn into a video, and this was the first one that came to mind, besides one that I did really recently. But it is what it is, besties. This is a sports channel now. I hate to break it to you, if this is a sports only Animal Crossing channel. Go sports. We love sports here. This is Sports Week. Welcome to Sports Week, besties. You didn't know that you were in this until just now, and neither did I. But here we are. And honestly, you know what? Maybe it's serendipitous, actually, because Sports Week never would have happened if not for all of these technical difficulties plaguing me constantly, including my microphone. So rude. But yeah, once again, you're using the fence object. I don't know why I put a boat down. That was so bold of me. I should have kept the boat. We're reusing the fence object again. We're reusing that basket, the ball catcher full of balls, but the basketball version this time, as opposed to the soccer version last time. You know what? Speaking of basketball and boats, not to brag or anything, but I had the pleasure of going to Tyler, the Creator's Call Me If You Get Lost tour this weekend, and it was incredible. He's still on the boat, besties. Absolutely phenomenal show. Also got to see Callie and Vince Staples, and, had a great time. And I remember after the show, I texted my dad to tell him how the concert went, and he was like, I went to a concert too. Check my gram. Which is what he insists on calling Instagram because he's a dad. By the way, Dad, if you're listening to this, hello. So I went and checked his gram, and he was not at a concert. He was at a basketball game. He was at a college basketball game, and this guy that my roommate and I had met in the line, he saw my dad's gram story and was like, oh, that's like important to college basketball because like a team that was like nobodies, they like beat all of the best teams. And so I don't actually know what's really going on with that, but for those of you who are interested in basketball, college basketball specifically, congratulations on that. I'm sure that's very important for you. But I texted this to him that night, and I stand by it to this day. A basketball game is not a concert, so don't lie, Dad. You were not at a concert. Was Callie at your basketball game? I don't think so. Anyways, you can tell that I recorded this in November specifically because I hadn't figured out the trick where you press down on the R stick to search through the categories faster because it took me 8 million years to find a sock. That's another classic me moment, besties. Honestly, rewatching this was really like the blueprint for the fret build that I did earlier this week. Like my mind, like that fret build was cooking up in the brain for months, and it finally came to fruition just last week. But look at me in November. Already had gym core on lock, besties. I'm an innovator. This is innovative stuff that you're seeing. And I used the glow in the dark sticker, but I just used the dinosaur because I thought it was cute. Because, I mean, it is. I also wanted to use... Did I end up using this? Let's find out. This is one of those things, too, where, like, I haven't seen this in a long time. So this is new for me, too, besties, okay? I definitely am 99% sure that I did not leave those fences over there. But, I don't know. Maybe me in November was a little crazy. And she, I don't know what she was up to. We're all going to find that out together. I definitely use that safety railing because it's definitely meant to be a bar that you use in dance class. I don't care what the catalog says, okay? That's for dancing and doing yoga. And I had to put their posters up because they're adorable. You know what? If the gym that was available to me in real life was owned by Pee-wee and Al, then maybe I would go to it. Maybe I would be buff. Can you imagine, besties, if I was buff? Y'all don't know what I look like because I haven't got my cam link together. I'm working on that though, besties. After the stream we had last week. So y'all don't know what I look like, but I'm not buff. Spoiler alert, I'm not buff. But like I said, imagine if I was, Honestly, I think one of my favorite parts of doing builds like this is specifically like adding the little details, like the sock on the ground and the water bottle and the light switch and the AC unit, all of those like tiny little real life details that aren't as flashy as like cooler items, I guess you could say, but they just make it feel real. Like I wish that we had a light switch in The Sims 4. You know what? I don't want to talk about The Sims 4 right now. I can't even play because I'm like, there's like some game breaking glitch going on and I don't even want to touch it because I don't want to ruin my save that I have with you guys, besties. By the way, for those of you who are looking for it, the edited version of my first 2 Sims gameplay streams will be going up this week. I'm working on editing it as we speak. Well, not as we speak. I'm doing the voiceover right now, but like in general, it's going up this week. Probably going to be on an off day, so not on a Wednesday or a Saturday, but on like a Tuesday or a Thursday or something. But that's definitely going up. Obviously, the Sims videos don't do as well as the Animal Crossing videos because this is an Animal Crossing channel, and that's totally fine. Like, you don't have to watch my Sims videos if that doesn't interest you. It might, though. You give them a try. I don't know. Try something new. But don't feel obligated to watch it just because it's here. But that, unfortunately, the YouTube algorithm doesn't understand that. So every time I post a video that does slightly worse than all my other ones, it's like, oh, you're flopping, and it stops showing my videos. in like the recommended bar and stuff. So, you know, that's got nothing to do with me. That's YouTube's issue. And I have to deal with it. So don't worry about that. But they're coming, besties. I do really like playing The Sims on the channel. It's just unfortunate that YouTube doesn't seem to appreciate me doing that. Even though it doesn't feel like I should have to create a second channel just to post The Sims. It feels a little excessive. It feels a little excessive to me, besties. But let me know in the comments what you think. If this is your first video, and you have no idea what I'm talking about, welcome. This is actually a completely typical level of chaos for this channel. So, you know, if you're enjoying it, then, you know, stick around, subscribe, click the little bell. I love how I said that thing about the chaos, like, right as I placed down the puddle as the floor by accident. Honestly, I should have kept that. That was iconic. Like, a full puddle floor. That's giving classic Animal Crossing. That's giving city folk. Maybe I should do that in my city folk house. Put a custom design as my, like, walls and floors. That's classic. That's classic. I love all these little decorations, like the broom and all the wall decorations and, like, this banner. It's perfect for sports. We love sports. And I have that broken TV up on the wall that's supposed to be the scoreboard because they didn't really have something that suited the scoreboard vibes on the TV. So I picked that as though, like, maybe someone accidentally hit it with the basketball and it's broken. Think about that, besties. Consider that. I love adding little details. I love, once again, the water, the Band-Aid on the ground, kind of gross, but also kind of accurate. Don't forget to use clothing in your builds, besties. I know I mentioned the socks before. I love that area, too, in the bottom right. That's, like, a little kids area. Like, kids can, like, tumble and stuff, and there's, like, yoga mats. I didn't want to separate the room with, like, barriers. I wanted to separate it sort of like by using the furniture. So we have like the two parallel yoga mats in the green and the orange and the blue, and I love the colors of those together. And then behind it we have like the weights area, and then on the left side of the build we have the basketball court. And I just think that it flows really nicely. It's so cute in here. Like, I really snapped with this. You're welcome, Peewee now. This is what you deserve. This is what they deserve in their married life, their wedded life. So happy for them. Gotta have the trash can. It's just like, I don't know, it's just like a vibe in here. Like, I can hear like the sneakers like squeaking on the floor when I look at this. Now we're just doing the finishing touches. Obviously gotta have the bag of chips, classic me. And then I put some music. I think I left KKD&B. Yeah. Gotta love some drum and bass for the boys. And then I threw down this cord thing next to the stereo. And then I think we're gonna head upstairs. Yes, okay, now we're working on their apartment. This was actually really fun to do just because of the colors. Like, we kept the color themes from outside and downstairs and sort of brought them upstairs. So we have like a really strong like orange and blue vibe going, besties. And it turned out really good. I think I kept this this tile in the back. I'm a little bit obsessed. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit obsessed. And this room is way more split up than the downstairs is. They have, on like the top right, they're gonna have like a kitchen, and then the top left is gonna be their bedroom, and then the bottom left is gonna be their son's bedroom. Once again, I forget his name, but I'm sure someone in the comments remembers his name. And of course, the original stream also is up, so you can, you know, speculate below what you think their son's name is. So his bedroom is in the bottom left, and then the bottom right is like the living area, and it's just so sweet. Like, it looks like I don't know, it feels like an Animal Crossing house. I don't know how to explain what that means, but you're gonna see it, and then you'll know what I mean but when I say that. That being said, besties, new information has come to light, and apparently the MP4 file that I had saved of this stream does not include the very, very end of the build. And so either you're going to get a much lower quality version, like the video quality, in the final stretch of the video, or it's just not going to exist at all. And in which case I will insert a ton of B-roll to show you what I ended up doing in that area. The technical difficulties continue. Literally, I was like checking the video to like see how much of it was left and like what I had recorded, and I was like, where is the end of this build? Like, what's happening? At this point, like, I genuinely don't know what I did to deserve all of this, but you know, there's nothing I can do. It's just my luck, besties. It's just my luck. Anyways, we're working on the kitchen now. this is the general shape that we're going to end up with, where we have the the kitchen unit and the deluxe washer and the fridge all on this partition wall, and then we have the counter island sort of separating the room a little bit into the kitchen and dining area and the living area, and then the whole left side of the build is going to be the bedroom. So there's a better idea of the shape that I was describing earlier. And like I said, I think it turns out really cute. I used the partition walls to also sort of separate the tile in the kitchen from the wallpaper in the rest of the house, and we're gonna stick with that blue and orange vibe. And it's, you know, she's gonna be a bit of a serve for the boys. You know what? Al is giving us a lot of cheek right now as I'm checking these wallpapers, so, you know, enjoy that. Besties, you're welcome. I just really love the colors of this build. It's so fun to do a colorful build. It like really pushes me out of my comfort zone, and I love experimenting. And I like I said, I had a completely different plan for the video today, and it was for my own island. I was going to do a villager house, and I love doing those because I love working on my island and expanding on my theme. But at the same time, I feel like those builds get kind of samey because my island does have such a strong theme. So it's like, okay, everyone's house is gonna have like wood paneling and an ocean view and all of that stuff, and the spider web in the corner, which I love. Like I said, I love that. But at the same time, it's nice to do the DLC, play Happy Home Paradise, and like do something completely different and out of my comfort zone. And even though I accidentally did Sports Week and did 2 sports themed Happy Home Paradise builds in the same week, I'm really happy with both of them, and I think that they have enough differences from each other to show like how much the DLC pushes your decorating abilities when you play it. Like, as much as the community rags on New Horizons for being a decorating game and not like a life sim sort of game like the older Animal Crossing games are, I will say that the DLC really expands on the decorating aspect in a way that is really rewarding. So even though I would prefer if Animal Crossing was less like The Sims and more like Animal Crossing, I do also enjoy what they have done with the more Sims-like elements of the game, if that makes sense. And especially the way they incorporated them into the main game, as opposed to what they did with the original Happy Home Designer game on the DS, where it was a separate game, as opposed to having access to all the items and abilities in the main game. I think that was really smart of them. I wonder what sound I picked for them. I guess I picked Forest. Good for them. I love that for them. I think that at some point in some build, it might have been this build, but I picked like a creaking noise, not knowing what it sounded like, because also this was back when I recorded in the Elgato recording software and I couldn't hear the in-game sound while I was recording. So I didn't know what like the sounds in the houses sounded like, and I played this creaking noise and it sounded like really loud, like the house was like haunted, and people were saying, "What's that noise? That noise is so weird." And I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about." And it was that. So I don't know what the moral of that story is, but it was haunted. My game was haunted. You know what? Maybe my computer is haunted, and that's why I'm having all these technical issues. Though I will say this computer is brand new, so the fact that it's already haunted is impressive in its own way, besties. Think about that. Did we keep the high chair? I hope we did, because that item is so cute. I love using the baby items. I actually have a couple of ideas for kangaroo Happy Home Paradise builds that I really wanted to do. That would have been really fun to record today, but I couldn't because, once again, the ghost haunting my computer. But yeah, I have a couple of plans for that as well. Have any of you built a house for a kangaroo and used the baby items? Have any of you built a house for a different character and used the baby items? I'm curious. What are your favorite items from the 2.0 update? It's kind of late to ask that question, but actually, you know, maybe this is the perfect time to ask that question because it's like the 2-year anniversary of New Horizons. So, you know, what's your favorite item that they added in the 2.0 update? I'm curious. Let me know. Look at how cute this kitchen is. Like, I'm obsessed. We have the bike on the wall, just like in my last build, but it's different. You know, we have used like a bright color on a bright background, and we have like a ton of stuff hanging up on the plants, and we have the little table with the light, and we have these stools. I don't remember which stool I ended up using, but, you know, the other one's cool. I don't think I kept it, though, but, you know, it's cool. I like her. She's fun. I love the pendant lights over the counter island. I love the cat grass and the milk. This build is so cute. It looks so lived in, but I love, like, the poppiness of it. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of, like, early to mid 2000s interior design. Like, if you went into an IKEA in the mid 2000s, or you like watched a DCOM, like a Disney Channel original movie, for those who don't know, a DCOM, in the early 2000s, and like the interior design, it's just like super colorful, lots of like Scandinavian influence, lots of wood. Think like the way that the girls' bedrooms look in like the Cheetah Girls. Super cluttered, lots of colors and decorations, but there's still something modern about it, you know? I don't know how to describe this. It's sort of like if you look at like the Sims 2 build catalog. It has the same vibe. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Let me know if you know what I'm talking about, because I don't know how else to like put it into words. Is there like a word for that type of interior design? Because as like a late 90s, early 2000s baby, I'm very nostalgic for that interior design style, and it's fun to do it in Animal Crossing. Because it's much harder to do in games like The Sims 4, because they just don't have like the campy aesthetic of the earlier Sims games. That would be a fun aesthetic for like an Animal Crossing house, like your own house on your own island, if like all of the rooms had that type of aesthetic. This whole video is just about me talking about ideas that I would do if I could record right now, which makes me sad, but like I said, I love this build, so I stand by this choice in terms of builds to redo a voiceover for. I have a ton of ideas for my house too, and I keep thinking of new ones, and I think that that's also just like, I've talked about this before, but like my New Leaf experience of like really digging in and decorating my New Leaf house like crazy, like super detailed, just like having fun with it, especially because the outside decoration is so much more limited in that game than in New Horizons. Maybe I'm just built for interiors, besties. But you know what? Actually, I struggled with Fret's house, so maybe I'm not built for interiors. Don't trust anything that I say, ever. That's something you can learn from this video. 2 things you can learn from this video. 1, a basketball game is not a concert. 2, don't ever trust anything that I say ever, except for the first thing that I said in this video. But yeah, that's take that home with you, besties. Take that. Wow. This just like, I am so annoying. It's really honestly a skill, I think, to be as irritating as I am. We got the Argyle rug, as always. I am addicted to that rug. Y'all need to take that rug away from me. I need to be stopped. I say it like, oh wow, this build really pushed me creatively, and I'm using all the same items I already use all the time. Wow, you really pushed creatively, bestie. Oh yeah, I did change the stools to the square ones because the bag of groceries fit better. I love those like little touches and details, and like some of them exist in The Sims, but like you have to dig in debug for them, and you know, sometimes I don't have Better Build Buy installed, and it's just hard, you know? It's hard. Building The Sims takes a million years. That's also why I've been resisting playing, partially because of the game-breaking glitches, but also because of it just takes me forever, besties. But I do love it, and I will continue to play, regardless of what the YouTube algorithm wants from me. You can't control me, YouTube. You can't stop me from being annoying. I'll continue to be irritating for as long as I please. You know what, this is kind of random, but one detail that I really liked about doing this upstairs is how downstairs I used like the more brightly colored wooden block toy objects to match the aesthetic of that area, and then upstairs I used the normal wood colors to make it more neutral, because there was already like a lot going on color-wise in this area, and I just think it looks so good. Like that living room area is giving like early 2000s IKEA catalog, like really truly, like I feel it in my soul. Same with like this, obviously this shelf, the shelf with like the see-through like blocks, that's giving early 2000s IKEA catalog, besties. If you know, you know. And same with I love the sneakers. I love that area. Like I said, it's gonna be their son's room. Once again, forget his name, apologies to him. And I don't think that this wooden partition stays. I definitely don't keep that rug. That rug is doing way too much. But I just wanted there to be a little bit of separation so that his dad's had some privacy in their bedroom, and then he can have his own space. I think I ended up going with the sloppy rug. I think that's what I ended up going with. I just love, who doesn't love the sloppy furniture, you know? It's like the details, besties, the details. I wish they'd added more of the sloppy furniture from New Leaf, though, to be honest. And I really hope that when Zelda comes out, they add back the Zelda furniture. Same with Splatoon. I've said this before, but I really miss the Pikmin items. There were only a couple of them, but I love them a lot. I love pikmin. They're so cute. God. See, once again, I love New Horizons. I love the features. I love the graphics. It's a beautiful game, but it's not quite The Sims and it's not quite Animal Crossing. It's in this awkward middle space where it's sort of trying to be both, but also won't commit to either. And I'm still playing it, so maybe I'm the fool. It's like how I have like at least 5,000 hours in The Sims 4, even though like I don't even vibe with The Sims 4 like that. Like, what's wrong with me? That's a personality deficiency right there, besties. Oh, I forgot how I did like the little space theme in the son's bedroom. That's so adorable. I used the glow-in-the-dark stickers again. Same, I used the in-game swatches instead of making like a window or anything. I think that this was obviously in November, so it was like early into the DLC, and I think that people had figured out the window trick at that point, but it wasn't me. I wasn't people. I had not figured it out yet. Oh, I put a picture of Pee-wee in his room. I think I put a picture of Al too. I might have put like a poster or something. You gotta have a picture of your dad in your room. That's so precious. I love that. I actually have a picture of my sister right in front of me that I can see right now, and it's very cute. Did I switch it up to the counters instead of the partition? We'll find out what me from several months ago was up to. I definitely use this bed. I love this bed. As we know, it's the best bed in the game. I've discussed this many times, besties. Get into it. Okay, as we're working on the dad's bedroom, we're getting to the point in the build where we're about to run out of footage. So the next bit of the build is going to be in lower quality than this, unfortunately. Sorry about that, besties. As we've completely established at this point, technology, not my friend. But Pee-wee and Al are. So, you know, I wanted what was best for them, and I wanted what was the best for you. Honestly, that partition, kind of a serve. It didn't fit, but it also kind of looked nice. So, you know, good for me, good for it. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we went with these little counters, and I definitely remember using this vintage dresser in that cool color swatch with like the labels on the corners. Like, honestly, besties, it's giving early 2000s. Like, I don't know what else to say. If you know, you know, and if you don't, you don't, and that's it. This is about when I ran out of footage in a couple of seconds, and then we're gonna switch over to the footage that I pulled from the YouTube VOD. Also, I am realizing as I am recording this that I can't record any new B-roll because of OBS. So I will make sure to update my Happy Home Paradise before or when this goes up, so that you guys can go on there and tour this build yourself, so you can see the full extent of the build. I'll make sure that the Pee-wee and Al's gym is up there for you guys, so you can actually see it. And I'll also make sure to put some more photos on Instagram as well. Everything about this is just so splendid. I put the baby shoes. Oh, that was so cute of me, my mind. I remember at the end of this stream, I was like struggling with the colors of the couches and the kids' bed. I was going back and like skimming to make sure that the editing on the end was okay, and it was just so much of picking color swatches on the bed and the couches, and I think I skipped. I got rid of a ton of that because it was just like me going back and forth over and over again on colors. I remember that happening live also, and like asking the chat, like, hey chat, like what color should I do? And I genuinely was stumped. Like, I really did not know what to do. Gotta have the tube sock as well, besties, both because it's for a child and because his dad's own a gym. And I remember the skateboard, that was a serve, that was an adorable decoration in my mind. Gotta have the squeakoid also. Squeakoid, that's very adorable, especially in a baby's room. Gotta have the sack of clothes, you know, their nice cozy sweaters. I just love the idea of two gorillas who are dads and own a gym. I know that's like the conceit of this build, and you've been watching it for literally half an hour. So you must be on board with it by this point, but I'm still obsessed. Like I think about this build all the time. And I can't wait. There's a couple of builds that I did on stream that like I'm really, really love and obsessed with that I did like more recently, and I can't wait to turn those into actual videos because I have so much to say about them. That car was so loud. Did you enjoy that? Like I said, city core. People who are like, oh, this is my city core build, and they build like a city in Animal Crossing. No, besties, no. This is city core, okay? Building a normal build and then having ambient city noise in the background of the voiceover. City core for real, right there. And I think I put the the punching bag in their room as well. You know, that's very sports of them to have a punching bag upstairs as well. Same with the socks. Obviously, gotta have the socks on the ground to match their sun. Have the rug. I did use this rug, didn't I? I did use this rug. Once again, that is an early 2000s IKEA rug right there, besties. If you know, you know. And if you don't, you don't. Get into it, besties. This voiceover is so much. Like, I'm just doing the most today. And it's going to continue on stream. I can feel it. I can feel it in my bones. The concert happening this past week really upended my schedule in a lot of ways, but I'm back on my grind, besties. I can't be stopped. Not even YouTube or my recording software or anything can stop me, unfortunately, for all of you. I love that square pendant light. It's so fun. I switched out the lights in the kitchen. That was a good choice, though, because they were doing a lot. It was a lot of lights. So the track lighting is a lot more subtle. But I like the pendant light that's like on the side. I think that's fun. I really wish you could put wall items on the partition walls, but I understand why you can't. Like, it makes sense, but you know, sometimes I wish I could add a little, like, something fun on the wall. Or I just wish there were more ceiling items in this game. Like, there's so many opportunities for ceiling items that just don't exist. And like, now that we have them and now that we're using them, it's like, oh, now I see like the missing opportunities here. Like, why is there no hanging plant? Why are all the plants wall hanging plants? And then the ceiling plants are like vines. Like, I can't have vines in a normal house. That's weird. You don't have vines in your house. You have vines in your house. You need to clean your house. Also noticing that I did, in fact, put the owl poster on the son's wall. So he has a photo and a poster to remind him of both of his dads. Very, very important. Very good. Hopefully I didn't keep both of those fans because that is doing a lot. Past me was doing so much. Similarly to how the cars outside my house are doing a lot right now. But, you know, that is what it is, besties. Maybe the extraness of this build is matching the energy of what's happening outside. Think about that. Consider that. You know, maybe that's a good way to describe what's going on here. It's maximalist. It's doing a lot. And, you know, I approve. We're coming up on the end here, actually, besties. We're just adding little decorations. I think I added the sports equipment item, similarly to last video, just like how we have the skateboards on the wall. I just adding little touches to make it feel like home. At some point, I added that adorable little bear in the corner. We're also gonna add the switch light in a second as well to the stool. This is such a cute house. Like, I ate with this. Past me was going crazy. She was wild. I added this book as well. You know, maybe it's like a cookbook on the counter. Someone's cooking. Someone's chefing in here. Cooking a good meal for their son, it's now over 30 minutes into the voiceover, and I still cannot for the life of me remember what his name was. But like I said, surely someone in the comments will remember. And if not, you'll just make one up, and I approve. I fully endorse you making up a name for Peewee and Al's son on the spot, just as I did on stream, I think. What did I change their music to? Let's find out what Past Me was up to. This is like time traveling, if you think about it, right? I was really going through it with these music choices. I went with I Love You. That's so cute. Oh. Yeah, obviously you gotta shine everything, besties. I went with that shine on the TV. Very exciting. Did I steam any hot things? I don't think there's any hot things in their house. Oh yeah, this is when I was going crazy with the bed swatches. Don't mind this, besties. Don't mind this. This behavior was too much. She was doing too much. Hopefully next video goes normally. I will have my my Switch figured out by the time Wednesday's video goes up. Also because I'm getting Kirby in the mail, and we can play Kirby on stream. I'm so excited. I love streaming games. I love games. I love gaming. I'm a gamer. That's not news to anyone. See, look at me struggling with these color swatches. That's nothing new either on this channel. If there's any constants on this channel, it's clutter, technical difficulties, and me being indecisive. You know, my builds might change from November to March to whenever, but those things will never change about me, besties. Those are constant. You can rely on them always. I'll always be indecisive. For you, specifically. Honestly, if you made it this far into the video, props to you, because this was a mess and a half. I know a lot of y'all listen to my videos just to have, like, someone to hang out with and have some noise in the background, which honestly is such an honor, to be that in your life, bestie. Really, truly. and I hope that you continue to allow me to ramble into your ear as you do other tasks in your life. It really means a lot to me that you'd look to me for that. We're naming it Gorilla Family Gym. Perfect name. Flawless. Incredible. And here we are at the end of the build. Here's me standing awkwardly while the boys work out in the background, so enjoy that. Thank you all so much for watching. Like I said a second ago, if you made it this far in the video, good for you. Give yourself a pat on the back. And maybe give the video a like too, because I mean, you clearly liked it if you stayed this long. I mean, geez. I will have a brand new video up for you on Wednesdays, as always, besties, and I hope to see you then, as well as on tonight's stream for City Folk. Come hang out. Thank you all again so much for watching, and I'll see you all again on Wednesday. Bye!